Back in the Vatican,
it was really heartening and encouraging.
Pope Francis returns home after intense hospitalization for pneumonia. New information released.
It gets more and more difficult.
On the investigation of 3 missing boaters. And never giving up.
You have the need to do it. Don't be afraid.
How one man turns his passion into a business. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Dylan Pazay.
I'm Jason Howard. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Pope Francis back in the Vatican this morning, but still recovering from pneumonia. After weeks of treatment for pneumonia, Pope Francis has been diagnosed or discharged from a hospital in Rome.
After being released, Pope Francis waved at crowds on his way home to the Vatican and gave a speech thanking the public for their support.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your prayers for my health. From the square, I accompany you from here. May God bless you and the Virgin protect you. Thank you.
The Pope's doctors say he will need at least 2 months of rest before a gradual return to work.
The IRS is close to finalizing an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security to help locate migrants suspected of living in the U.S. illegally. 2 immigrants' rights groups in Chicago had sued the Treasury Department and IRS earlier this month. The groups asked the judge to block the agency from sharing taxpayers' information with ICE or DHS as Trump pushes for more deportations.
Disney on fire. One of Walt Disney World theme parks in Orlando, Florida was ablaze on Saturday. Witnesses captured video that showed smoke rising into the air at Epcot's France Pavilion. A spokesperson for Disney said that the fire started in a backstage area at the pavilion and was quickly put out. But reports say that a walk-in cooler sparked the fire. No one was hurt in the incident.
This morning, the tragedy on the St. Johns River continues after the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office said one of the missing boaters was found yet. Crews launched a massive search effort after a boat carrying 8 people had capsized on Friday night. Caplin's Laura Iglesias has more on how the search is going.
Just over 72 hours ago, this is what the St. Johns River looked like as crews took watercrafts and aircrafts in search of missing boaters.
And it quickly became a multi-agency search.
The call came in around 8 p.m. on Friday for a capsized boat. 4 were rescued safely. 1 sadly was found dead. 3 more still missing, including 2 kids. That operation continued into Saturday with crews from JFRD, JSO, the Coast Guard, FWC, and the Clay County Sheriff's Office, all helping out. Unfortunately, none of the remaining 3 have been found.
It gets more and more difficult. I mean, things drift with the current of the river one way or the other, and it just makes it very hard for a diver to find somebody, especially after 24 hours.
Rob Sullivan has worked in maritime law for over 40 years, dealing with recreational boating accidents. He says no matter the experience level, when the sun goes down, driving a boat can become especially dangerous.
In 40 years of doing this, I can only recall 1 fatality that didn't occur at night.
Jacksonville Fire Rescue says the group of 8 was out on the boat taking into the sunset. Officials say none of the riders were wearing life vests. The 18-foot boat eventually flipped. Sullivan says that can be caused by hitting an object or even a larger wake. Things that can be hard to spot with little to no light, which is why Sullivan urges people to avoid boating at night.
What you can't see is what it is that's going to actually hurt you.
Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
While addictions are an issue among many generations, certain ones like alcohol, smoking, and even drug use are even more prevalent in the current generation. As Caplin's Aaron Bujero reports, Generation Z has a low recovery rate for these terrible addictions.
As Americans continue to struggle with addiction, rehab facilities continue to help them through this difficult battle.
Addiction affects not only the individual, but their family. Yahaira Colondres grew up with a mother battling addiction. However, after realizing that she was losing her family, her mother got sober, and Yahaira believes that family support helped her through the recovery.
We need to fight for them. They will not fight by themselves. Sorry. They need a lot of support, especially from family.
Gen Z's addiction rate increased by nearly 1 million, including 6.7 million individuals aged 21 to 25. Yet they had the lowest treatment rate, with only about 1 million seeking help. But they're not alone. According to the 2023 U.S. National Survey on Drug Use and Health, 48.5 million Americans aged 12 and older struggled with substance use disorders. As substance abuse rises, so does the need for accessible rehab centers, like the Hope Center.
You're teaching them that accountability is important. You're teaching them that there's consequences to your actions. So it makes a difference. At the end of the day, a successful day in rehabilitation is a day that you're alive.
Drug addiction among Gen Z is reaching alarming heights, and to help with these growing numbers, people like Javier suggest increasing the number of facilities that provide them with the space to talk about and overcome their issues.
Although admitting you need help is one of the hardest parts, one thing is clear. Help is never too far away, and hope is available for everyone. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Marin Bujedo.
The idea of riding a motorcycle may seem fun, but it's actually more dangerous than you think. As Caplin's Adrian Morgade reports, motorcyclists are the cause of fatal accidents.
Miami has garnered a reputation as being one of the worst places to drive, from poor road conditions to inexperienced motorists and constant traffic jams. But what about those who choose to navigate the city on two wheels? What challenges do motorcyclists face as they try and share the road?
This is Jake Lakatis, a new motorcyclist who's already seen the dangers of riding in Miami.
You know, you're on your bike, you don't have any protection. The only protection you really have is just what you're wearing. So everyone else is driving around in multi-thousand-pound vehicles, and they can flatten you like a pancake.
According to the attorneys Carlson, Meissner, and Hazlett, researchers concluded that other motorists were at fault for 60% of the accidents involving a motorcycle. Local news seems to share this same sentiment.
I mean, motorcyclists are just other drivers. They just need to follow the laws and follow the rules of the road, and they need to take, their additional steps to keep themselves safe, because unfortunately a lot of times other drivers don't respect those rules, and maybe they might drive in an erratic manner.
You just gotta stay safe out there, man. Do whatever you need to do. The responsibility is all yours. It doesn't matter who's to blame. If you're dead, you're dead. You need to make sure it doesn't happen so you can get back home safe and sound.
Ultimately, achieving road safety is something of a group effort. Drivers, riders, law enforcement, and state officials must abide by the laws and provide good services for safe travels. In the meantime, all anybody can do is to stay safe and stay vigilant. For Caplin News, I'm Adrian Morgade, reporting.
An ancient discovery from the Jurassic period found down under.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
It's a shock to some people, that I can do the things I do.
A man's love for agriculture turns into creating a business from scratch. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Despite some challenges, an Indiana man shows that anything is possible through determination. Kyle Albertson from Indiana loves agriculture and photography, so much so that he created his own business selling drones.
And despite having muscular dystrophy, Albertson shows how nothing can stop him from making his dream a reality, as WRTV's Lauren Schwenker reports and has more on the story.
Kyle Albertson set his mind on becoming a business owner.
It's a shock to some people, like, that I can do the things I do.
Despite living with congenital muscular dystrophy, he always found a way to be independent.
I have my license to drive a vehicle, and I drive a modified van with a joystick.
Kyle grew up around a farm and agriculture. He was a member of the Future Farmers of America, or FFA. He learned how to mix his love of photography and drones with farming.
More and more people want me to take pictures of their houses or farms, and I always was looking for different ways to use that more on a commercial side.
Kyle graduated from Purdue with a degree in agriculture business and started a drone spraying company.
I was one of the first ones in Indiana to do what I'm doing commercially. And just off the top of my head, there's probably 15 companies now like me doing this.
Now he is sharing his experiences and hopes to inspire others.
You can do it, and it's a good business option, and you have the need to do it. Don't be afraid to tackle that and give it a shot.
I'm Lauren Schwenker, WRTV.
Australian researchers have discovered dozens of dinosaur footprints on a boulder in Queensland, Australia. They found 66 fossilized footprints from 47 individual dinosaurs. Researchers say the discovery represents one of the highest concentrations of dinosaur footprints per square meter ever documented there. You're watching Newsbreak, and we are coming right back.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panthertech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Jason Harrow.
And I'm Dylan Bezay, and you can get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.